couple of bulldogs, and a porcupine. That's quite the odd squad. But out in Homewood, California, at animal rehabber Ann Bryant's place, anything goes. And anyone, too. If a native animal is orphaned or injured, she'll take them on.
Occasionally there'll be one that isn't releasable for whatever reason. This would be the case with Maud. She was born of a mother that was injured.
Maud's mom was hit by a car.
Maud's mother was rescued by the side of the road. I knew she was in pretty rough shape, but I didn't know that she was about to have a baby. 3 days later, she gave birth to Maud. She was a teeny little ball of fluff.
Ann hoped to get Maud's mom back to health and return her and the fluff ball back to the wild. Sadly, the mother porcupine didn't make it. Unable to survive on her own, Maud will remain in Ann's care for life. But she doesn't have to go it alone. Ann's two bulldogs, siblings Mac and Mosey, just see Maud as part of the family.
I don't think either one of my bulldogs give it a thought that other bulldogs don't have porcupines living in their house. To them, it is normal.
Sure, they look different, but
they're kind of at the same eye level. They're kind of chubby, and they kind of walk funny. They're kind of close to the ground. They're not very graceful. They're not very speedy. One's a rodent, one's a canine. Go figure.
When dogs and porcupines get together, things usually turn out a lot different.
Dogs are notorious for getting a face full of quills, and people always think that the porcupine shot their quills at the dog and hit him right in the mouth. But what actually happens is the dog will attack the porcupine and bite him, and then the quills go into the dog's mouth.
Luckily, that's never been the case at Ann's place. Instead, both Pooches and Porcupine lend their paws to her rescue missions.
They've helped raise several goslings. We have one right now that they're very attached to. When we get baby animals, they want to help. Sometimes they'll just let them sleep next to them to stay warm. These guys just were raised around the critters, and they know to be nice.
Maud might have been raised without her birth mom, but as a nurturer, she's a natural.
She is so sweet with them. She helps take care of them, watch them, give them, tenderness.
And they don't just work on land. The trio occasionally takes their talents to the water. The mission? Safely release these adorable merganser ducklings. It won't be easy. Ann has to hope she finds a foster parent out there who'll take the babies under their wing. It could very well happen, but it's all a matter of size.
The tricky part is our babies cannot be smaller than their babies. They have to either be the same size or bigger, and then the adoptive parents should take them. So everybody watch. Mac, keep your eyes open. There's a family.
So the question is, just how lucky are these duckies? The moment of truth is now. Ann's got to toss the wee ones overboard, but don't be alarmed. They're not being harmed.
That's a good sign. Go with her. She's taking them. She's taking them. Oh, there we go. Success. That's our 5.
5, to go with the dozen Mama Merganser already has. Ah, what a wonder.
They're all over there. Okay, now she's got them. Okay, let's get out of here. That's always one of the rewards. Now they're where they belong.
Ann's personal support team knows what that feels like.
Yay! We did it! Porcupine slept right through it.
Maud sleeping on a boat with 2 bulldogs at her side is truly a sight for sore eyes. born into a prickly predicament, she's managed to turn it all into a pretty cool life. Turns out, you really can get by with a little help from your friends. A dog teaching a duck how to swim? That's ridiculous.
Lorenz is really a very funny bird. He's an Indian runner duck, so he stands very upright, which gives him a sort of butler attitude, very dignified. He's one of a kind, really, because here he's the only duck, but he's also a very special individual.
Special in a few ways. For one, Lorenz prefers to live indoors. For two, his favorite snack is dog food. And for three, well...
Lorenz goes to water, but he stays next to it. He doesn't swim in it. I tried to put him in the water. But he reacted as if I was trying to drown him.
Okay. But before we start to question the dude's duckiness, let's rewind the tape. A life alone was never Lorenz's choice. His mom actually rejected his egg. So the day he hatched, instead of having the warmth of a mother's love...
He was born under a lamp, in fact. When he was little, he kind of liked to be in my lap and to be stroked.
Without a mom to show him the ropes or teach him how to swim, I mean, it's understandable. He just never really learned to duck. Desperate for companionship, he tried to partner up with a few different neighbors. A sheep, a rooster, some cats, some dogs, but none of them were really digging his vibe.
Cleo, doucement.
Genevieve thought her duck might be destined for a life of confusion and letdowns. And then, he started paying attention to her 7-year-old Labrador, Helios.
Lorenz started following Helios everywhere. It's a quite odd friendship. Helios doesn't really bother about Lorenz. He's very patient with him. He's followed all day long. It's a one-way friendship.
So Helios isn't exactly enamored with Lorenz. It might be because labs are gun dogs, bred over generations to collect birds shot by hunters. Maybe Helios just doesn't understand what to do with a live duck. And maybe that's just the opening Lorenz needs. 'Cause this ducky follows that doggy literally everywhere. Helios happens to love water, which got Genevieve thinking, might Lorenz follow the object of his affection far enough to face his deepest fears? It was a nice idea, but Lorenz wasn't with it. And then one day,
I threw a stick to Helios, and he ran in the water as usual. Lorenz just followed.
holy duck, the boy can swim. And hey, not only that, in the process of overcoming his fears, the duck and the dog have come up with their own halftime performance.
Usually when I throw sticks to Helios, when he turns back, Lorenz climbs on his back, holds on to his ear, and surfs all the way back to the shore. It's a special sport they've invented together. Lorenz stays on his back all the time. He just seems to steer him. He hangs on to his ear, not to fall down because it's a bit slippery.
What a dazzling display. And to think, had Lorenz grown up like any other duck, the world might never have known these two species could hang, in the water no less.
If Lorenz had been brought up by a duck mother, she would probably have taught him to be afraid of dogs. I think that Lorenz sees him as his friend, really.
A friend. Someone to follow, to learn from, who helps you feel stronger and throws you on their back when you need a lift. Cheers to friends.
Hey Love Nature fans, be sure to like and subscribe to catch all our wild animal stories. Get closer to nature right here on YouTube.